big predictions. 1, that Trump would win. 2, that he would start a war with Iran. And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war.
What happens when the warnings people laughed at start becoming reality? Not years apart, but all at once.
The moon will not give her light, the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
From ancient prophecies to modern predictions,
they immediately put remote viewers on it. And all of a sudden, all the remote viewers are saying, oh my God, 2026, 2027, something is going to happen.
Everything seems to be aligning with 1 year 2026. And the speed of it feels unnatural. So stay with us till the end, because some of these predictions might be closer than you think.
Alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the off with 5, 6 to 7 eighths of the world's population by the year 2029.
3 big predictions. 1, that Trump would win. 2, that he would start a war with Iran. And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war.
There's this Professor Jiang, whose predictions keep coming true, and people seriously cannot stop talking about him. He called Trump's win. He predicted a war with Iran unfolding around 2024, which we're watching happen right now. And his biggest claim yet was that the U.S. would lose that war.
They have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire.
But he didn't stop there. He laid out the entire sequence. The U.S. gets pushed out of the Middle East, Iran loses its grip on the region, and Israel emerges as the sole dominant power, setting the stage for the Greater Israel Project. Then comes another war involving Russia, Iran, and Israel that he says leads to the end of the world.
Another world war, called the War of Gog and Magog, where Russia and Iran attack Israel together, which will usher in the end of the world.
So the conflict happening right now might not even be WW3. That could still be coming. He also predicted the rise of the New World Order. And at this point, the longest-running conspiracy theory is starting to look less like theory and more like a timeline.
Iran will be shattered, America will be forced out of the Middle East, and Israel will become the only standing power in the Middle East.
Black skies. There's an ancient prophecy that's been resurfacing everywhere lately, and people genuinely cannot stop talking about it. It describes a thick black smoke as one of the major signs of the end of time, smoke so dense it envelops the entire world, lasting 40 days and nights and bringing sickness with it. When Iran's oil refinery blew up, footage of a massive dark plume rising into the sky started circulating immediately. But what followed was somehow worse. Residents woke up to black skies and oily black rain falling over the city, with officials warning people not to go outside due to serious health risks. The prophecy also states that smoke rising from the Middle East signals an incoming great famine, and with oil prices already climbing and the full extent of the damage still unknown, that part isn't looking so far-fetched either. Prophetic warning.
This is not prophecy, but prediction. If this was predicted 27 years ago, somebody knew something.
Okay, so there's this clip going viral of a man reading out warnings from a book written back in 1997, and the things listed in it are genuinely unsettling. Viral disease pandemics, we've seen that play out, and even post-COVID, there are hundreds of mutations still circulating.
Fast mutating viral disease pandemics. Genetically developed vaccines. DNA database tracking. DNA chips. 1997. Gene-based pharmaceuticals.
Vaccines being a threat to life, that controversy is very much alive with the Bill Gates depopulation agenda being thrown around constantly. Remote working, AI, even robots, all mentioned in a book from 1997.
Artificial intelligence to determine gene pattern. 27 years ago, who had heard about AI? How about this one? Robots for doing genome sequencing.
Which is honestly insane when you think about it. And now, with tensions in the Persian Gulf rising, the threat of nuclear contamination feels closer than ever. Almost every single prediction has already materialized. The terrifying part isn't what's already happened, though it's whatever comes next.
They predicted, not 2025, but by 2020, that people would be working from home virtually.
Sixth seal.
from the Bible, we know that there are going to be multiple seals that are going to be opened until the seventh seal before the second coming of Christ.
There's a biblical prophecy circulating heavily right now, and the timing of recent events has people taking it very seriously. It says a blood moon will appear before the second coming, but before even that, the world will be in unrest, with multiple wars and rumors of wars. We're seeing exactly that across the Middle East right now.
With the kind of wars and rumors of wars, and obviously right now there is no longer rumors because Israel, America, Iran, and so many other nations are currently at war.
On March 3rd, 2026, a total lunar eclipse was witnessed, and the moon appeared deep red, striking enough that people immediately started connecting it to the verse. But it gets heavier. Revelation 6:12 also says, the sun will turn black, and there was a solar eclipse just last month in February. Two celestial signs within weeks of each other, both lining up with the same prophecy.
They're firing off missiles, there's jet flying over, you never know what the hell is actually going on.
There's another ancient prophecy that when a solar and lunar eclipse fall within close proximity of each other in the same year, it marks a sign of end times and the coming of the Antichrist. People observed a solar eclipse in February and then a lunar eclipse in March, separated by only days. The fact that both happened within the same window, in the same year, with everything else already unfolding across the world, it's the kind of alignment that's difficult to explain away. Falling fires. Multiple reports have been coming in of fireballs and meteors falling from the sky across the world. Vancouver, Canada, the US, Western Germany. Officials are actually confirming we're entering the debris stream from the 3I Atlas comet, meaning what we're seeing now could just be the beginning. Then someone pulls up that exact Bible verse describing stars falling from the sky like figs from a tree, and suddenly the room gets very quiet.
The moon will not give her light, the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Then shall appear the Son of Man in heaven. Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
People have started taking this seriously because too much of what's happening lines up with the same passage. And then because, of course, The Simpsons got dragged into it. Images from the show are going viral depicting a massive fireball hurtling toward Earth, with crowds watching in horror. And people are saying this might be their most chilling prediction yet, with some pinpointing 2026 specifically as we move deeper into that debris stream. Dark omens.
What's going on? I have no clue. It's a murder.
Holy. Thousands of crows and ravens have been taking over the skies across the United States, massive swarms descending on different locations, covering the ground, leaving people genuinely shaken. A lot of people immediately went biblical with it, pointing to worsening global conflicts and calling it a warning, one of the signs preceding a great disaster. And honestly, it's hard to entirely dismiss that reaction when the timing lines up the way it does. There is a scientific side to this, though. Corvids are known to flock in response to environmental changes, food sources, or shifts in temperature patterns. Whether that explanation satisfies you or not probably depends on how much you trust coincidence at this point. Locust season. The Sahara Desert right now is something out of a nightmare. A massive swarm of desert locusts tore through parts of the region back in February 2026, blanketing highways, stopping traffic, colliding with vehicles, completely overwhelming everything in their path. Officials flagged it immediately as a serious threat to agriculture and vegetation across the region. The footage genuinely looks apocalyptic, and the biblical weight of locusts isn't subtle. They appear repeatedly as symbols of divine punishment, famine, and end times. After people started watching those clips circulate online, some didn't just talk about it. They started actively preparing. Dolphin blueprint. A Florida man came back from a swim with a story that is genuinely difficult to process. He claims 3 dolphins approached him in the ocean, pulled him roughly 40 feet underwater, and kept him there for 3 days, communicating through clicking sounds and apparently involving him in the construction of an underwater city. When he surfaced, he immediately started drawing up a detailed blueprint of everything he'd witnessed. That alone is wild enough. But then people pulled up a Simpsons episode featuring intelligent dolphins waging war on mankind. And suddenly the conversation shifted entirely. Some are convinced he was experiencing a mental health episode and constructed the blueprint from imagination alone. Others can't let it go, pointing to the laws restricting close contact with dolphins, theories about their ancient intelligence, and the fact that the Simpsons writers seem to keep knowing things they really shouldn't.
Jeez, so many dolphins.
Soft launch.
I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
One of the most prominent end times prophecies describes a moment when all the world's governments collapse into a single global authority ruled by one figure, the Antichrist. For years, New World Order sounded like something pulled straight out of conspiracy forums. Then, a clip of Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, started circulating online. In it, he says the phrase clearly and slowly, almost carefully, like he wants every word to register. And the reason it landed so hard is because this wasn't a fringe figure saying it in a dark corner of the internet. This was a sitting head of government. Maybe it's not the full prophecy yet, but it's starting to feel like a very deliberate preview.
Progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Olympic contact. This was the prediction people either laughed off, feared deeply, or secretly got excited about. Baba Vanga had claimed humanity would make undeniable contact with extraterrestrial life in 2026. Not blurry lights, actual, confirmed contact. What made it stranger was her claim that it would happen during a major sporting event, and with the Olympics approaching, that detail suddenly felt uncomfortable. And folks, I believe this has taken place, maybe not literally, but during the Olympics, this bombshell was dropped on our heads. After Obama's claim that UFOs existed, Trump went ahead and said Obama wasn't supposed to release classified information like that, then casually added he could declassify it and get him out of trouble.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information.
He even tweeted that after he'll direct the Pentagon to release all UAP and UFO files.
They said, all I know, sir, is there was a round object that was going 4 times faster than my F-22, which is a very fast plane.
But the prediction didn't stop there. It hinted this contact could trigger a global crisis, maybe even an apocalypse. That raised the question nobody liked asking. What if we weren't ready? What if whoever showed up wasn't friendly? Or worse, what if learning we weren't alone shattered how humanity saw itself?
I'm interested in the people coming from space, you know.
Yes.
April orbs. There's an interview making the rounds of a man who says he spoke with a Pentagon official back in 2012, and what he was told is sitting very differently now than it would have then. The official apparently said that something significant would happen in April 2026, that as Israel and Iran exchanged missiles, orbs would rise from the waters.
When you see Iran and Israel exchanging missiles, and I saw it, the way she tells me is a vision of, I see it like a living picture screen.
Nobody is entirely sure what that meant. Metaphor for something spiritual? Literal objects emerging from the sea? Some people believe those orbs would be angels marking the end of the cycle of war.
Then all of a sudden, orbs appeared out of the ocean and everywhere. And I told the government, that's...
While others are pointing straight to UFOs. The unsettling part is that the first half of the prediction, the missile exchanges between Israel and Iran, is already unfolding.
2026, 2027, something is going to happen.
Ebo's Ark.
25th of December. So, date in society.
There's a man named Ebo Noah who has been building an ark. And yes, exactly the kind you're thinking of. He says the warning came directly from God-heavy, relentless rain for 3 straight years, beginning December 2025, enough to flood everything. His videos show him calmly constructing a massive ship, claiming a single vessel could hold millions of people. He's already built 8. Most people wrote him off immediately, but then the weather started shifting in ways nobody predicted. Heavy rain, hail, snow appearing in regions that had no business seeing any of it. And with the nuclear threat hanging heavier than ever, people who were laughing a few months ago are starting to pay closer attention. Some are genuinely cheering him on now. Whether he's a prophet or not, the timing of everything around him is getting harder to brush aside.
Called Ebonoa has become popular online after claiming that the world will soon end.
Age of Deception.
Finally, हम उस era में पहुंच गए हैं जहां artificial intelligence इस level तक evolve हो गया है.
There's an ancient prophecy that near the end of times, the line between truth and lies would completely dissolve, no way to tell them apart. A decade ago, that sounded almost impossible. Now it just sounds like a Tuesday. AI is moving so fast, people barely have time to catch their breath. Blink once, and something new is already here. Deepfakes, full-on video swapping, complete with perfect lip sync, movements, and even lighting so realistic, it's terrifying. After the controversy around Netanyahu's AI-generated videos, people started asking a question that's genuinely unsettling. How many videos have already slipped past without anyone catching them? Scams, identity theft, fabricated world events, the infrastructure for mass deception is already built. The prophecy described an age where reality itself becomes unreliable. That age doesn't feel like a warning anymore. It feels like a description of right now. Zombie Protocol. A woman walked into her local courthouse in Burleson, Texas, and found an official government pamphlet sitting on the wall like it was completely routine. Detailed instructions for what to do during a zombie attack. Evacuation routes, emergency survival plans, the works. Strange enough on its own. But then, another clip surfaced of a doctor claiming the zombie pandemic had already begun, pointing to Rwanda as ground zero.
There's actually worse parts to it than that, including the 1p36 gene deletion that effectively will turn those poor people into zombies.
His claim was that people were being turned after exposure to specific vaccines combined with certain frequencies, and that the 5G infrastructure already embedded worldwide could be used to trigger a mass event whenever they chose.
We know that upon the broadcast from the 5G system, it is now employed across the United States and the world for that matter.
So every zombie film, every outbreak series, every apocalyptic show pushed through mainstream entertainment starts looking less like fiction and more like a very slow, very deliberate preview of something they've been planning for a long time. Broken skies.
Now we can see better. I have never seen anything. Oh!
The weather has been genuinely unsettling lately. Clear skies flipping with zero warning, catastrophic storms rolling in out of nowhere, hailstorms, unexpected snow showing up in places that haven't seen it in years. All of it happening across multiple regions simultaneously. A lot of people aren't buying the climate explanation anymore. They're calling it divine punishment. A signal that something much bigger is coming. And then there's the other crowd pointing fingers directly at Bill Gates, claiming the geoengineering agenda finally pushed too far, and what we're witnessing now is the consequence of tampering with something that was never meant to be touched. Honestly, both conversations are happening at full volume right now. Drop a comment below. What's the weather been like in your region lately, and what do you think is actually going on? B prophecy.
Hundreds of these mystery drones seen up and down the East Coast, specifically over military bases.
Nostradamus never wrote long explanations, just short, cryptic, 4-line verses. And in one of them, he mentioned a great swarm of bees, rising and causing chaos. At the time, it sounded symbolic at best, but lately, people started rereading it differently. Because what if he wasn't talking about insects at all? Look around now. Drones, swarms grounding airports, military bases scrambling jets after dozens of unidentified objects appeared on radar. Police reports describing clusters of drones flying in coordinated formations at night. Nostradamus might have lacked modern words, but the imagery lined up uncomfortably well. And that was what bothered people most.
That they're reacting, that's their behavior, that the lights are turning off to avoid detection.
Red waters. Most events in 2025 feel end of the world coded. But this one, it's on another level. The Sea of Galilee, a place loaded with biblical significance, just turned blood red overnight. Locals woke to the shocking sight, and panic spread fast. Scientists haven't pinned down a cause, though some point to algae blooms. Others say it's a sign straight out of Scripture. With floods, earthquakes, and chaos erupting worldwide, the timing feels almost too perfect to be coincidence. One day the waters were blue, next they're crimson. So, is this nature doing its thing, or a warning we're not ready to face? Gold Rush. Just when you think things couldn't get stranger, they do. There's a chilling Islamic prophecy about gold emerging from the Euphrates near the end of times. And now, reports from Raqqa, Syria, claim the already drying river has receded even further, revealing gold nuggets. Locals have been seen gathering them, with videos spreading online and fueling a wave of unease. For many believers, it's a sign too clear to ignore. Some are already preparing for what they believe comes next. With the world feeling more unstable by the day, the idea of prophecy unfolding doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore. Sky Trumpet.
You hear that?
A quiet camping trip turned unsettling when a couple heard something they couldn't explain. It started as low, eerie sounds drifting down from the sky deep, echoing, almost mechanical. They recorded it, unsure whether to run or just listen. When the clip surfaced online, people immediately jumped to conclusions.
I don't even know how long. It sounds like it's right above the trees. What is that?
I have no idea.
Many swore it sounded like trumpets, the kind mentioned in end-of-the-world prophecies. No official explanation ever followed, and that only made things worse. The couple stood by their claim, saying it didn't come from planes or weather, just the sky itself. And with every strange event piling up lately, this one felt different, more like a signal.
It's been off and on since I woke up. Thought maybe a train, but there's no rails out here.
It's not a train, it feels...
Animal flight.
This is happening again, guys. And look.
A woman in New Jersey filmed something that didn't feel normal at all. Birds kept flying in one direction, non-stop, like they were escaping the area. At the same time, she claimed dogs nearby wouldn't stop howling, sounding distressed, almost like warnings.
The dogs outside were howling. It's really loud, high-pitched.
People online immediately connected it to past disasters, pointing out how animals often reacted before disaster. Speculation exploded. Some believed something natural was coming. Others blamed HAARP or secret government tech interfering with animal behavior, because when nature starts acting strange all at once, history suggests one thing: something is coming.
You can understand how many birds. It's absolutely insane.
Insect swarm. This footage came straight from a city in Pakistan, and it was unsettling to watch. Swarms of insects filled the sky, crawling over buildings, streets, and lights, leaving almost no space untouched. Locals said they'd never seen anything like it before. It didn't look seasonal, it looked overwhelming. Online people started calling it a bug takeover. End times talk followed almost instantly. Biblical plagues, warnings, signs. And honestly, with strange things happening all over the world lately, the idea didn't sound as far-fetched as it once would have. Frog rain. Forget hail or rain, this clip showed something far stranger. Frogs were falling from the sky over a small town. People screamed and ran as the ground filled with them, completely confused and terrified. The footage spread fast, and panic followed. Many viewers were convinced this was another sign the world was nearing its end. Others tried to explain it away, saying extreme weather could have sucked the frogs up and dropped them elsewhere. Maybe that was true, or maybe it wasn't. Because no matter how you explained it, watching frogs rain down from the sky didn't feel normal at all. Secret agenda.
I'll tell you what the alien agenda is, and it's going to sound very familiar.
This is the biggest and scariest reality ever revealed. An old leaked video of an Area 51 scientist has resurfaced online as the year 2029 draws closer. He spoke of alien agenda, a secret plan for the complete takeover of Earth that would wipe out nearly 75% of humanity by 2029.
The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5/6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029.
He claimed the U.S. military has known about it for over 45 years, keeping the truth hidden from the public. According to him, the global elite already made a deal with these beings, agreeing to a slow, controlled elimination of the population in exchange for their own safety.
The military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one.
Gravity collapse.
The world will lose gravity for 7 seconds, NASA knows.
A wild theory started spreading after a mysterious article claimed Earth would lose gravity for 7 seconds on the 12th of August 2026. The story said NASA already knew and was hiding it under something called Project Anchor.
Project called Project Anchor that NASA has an $89 billion budget for.
Supposedly, they were testing whether Earth could survive a gravity drop caused by a black hole passing nearby. People online went nuts. 7 seconds doesn't sound like much, but at planetary scale, it meant oceans lifting, cities breaking apart, and everything not bolted down flying. No one knows if it's real or total fiction, but the idea alone is terrifying. Because if gravity really shuts off, even for seconds, the aftermath wouldn't be something humanity can just walk away from.
Claiming it has something to do with that black hole or whatever that is.
Leviathan. This Google Maps image has everyone spiraling, and honestly, I can see why. Sitting in the South Atlantic Ocean, the shape is uncanny. Eyes, nostrils, and a head so massive it could swallow a whole country. Some believe this is no coincidence, that it has been growing beneath the waves for centuries, just waiting for the right moment to rise. And according to the Bible, if this really is that beast, only God himself can take it down. Meaning, if it starts moving, we're doomed. Skeptics argue it's just an illusion, islands, underwater ridges, and wishful paranoia blending together. But with deep-sea creatures washing up left and right, who's to say something isn't stirring down there? Melting future. This footage started spreading online, and it freaked people out fast. Scientists are saying Greenland's ice sheets are losing around 30 million tons of ice every single hour. Not per day, per hour. And it's way worse than they had expected. People immediately tied it back to Baba Vanga again. She warned that polar ice would melt and flood coastal cities around the world. She predicted it for 2033, but it looks like the planet isn't waiting. Sea levels are rising, storms are getting stronger, and entire coastlines are at risk. The scary part isn't just the ice, it's the speed. Everything feels like it's happening too fast, like Earth pressed the fast forward button and forgot how to slow down. Kursk prophecy.
Вот это отверстие под номером 3.2.
Back in 1980, Baba Vanga had said something that confused people for years. She claimed that Kursk would be covered with water and the whole world would cry over it. Everyone assumed she meant the Russian city, but nothing happened, not until August 2000. That was when the Russian nuclear submarine Kursk sank in the Barents Sea, with all 118 crew members. When the news broke, people suddenly remembered her words. The name matched, the timing matched, and the world really did cry.
What happened with the submarine?
After that, a lot more people took her seriously, because what once sounded vague suddenly felt very, very specific, and from that point on, her other predictions didn't seem so crazy anymore. Hidden bunkers. One of the main U.S. doomsday bunkers for top officials had been buried under nearly 2,000 feet of solid granite, sitting at around 7,000 feet above sea level. It's meant to survive everything: natural disaster, solar radiation, magnetic field collapse, and extreme weather. Inside, it has its own power, underground water, food stockpiles, preserved tech, and now probably massive AI data centers too. People said Cheyenne Mountain wasn't really about nuclear war at all. That was just the excuse. According to insiders, they have known about a coming geophysical event since the 1940s. And if that was true, then this wasn't preparation. It was expectation. Things got even stranger after an interview with former Pentagon UAP boss Luis Elizondo. When the host asked if something big was coming soon, he didn't deny it. He said yes.
You hear of something big coming down the pike.
Yes, I've heard of them. Yes, I'm aware of them, and I'm not able to have that conversation.
But claimed he wasn't allowed to talk about it. That pause alone said everything. People became convinced he was hinting at the geophysical event and the secret bunker building. Not aliens. Not war. Something even bigger. And the fact he stayed quiet made it louder. Space signals.
The sky's opening up! 3i Atlas is the mothership! Hide now, all of you!
You probably heard about Comet Atlas passing close to Earth. Most people shrugged it off, but inside one grocery store, a woman suddenly collapsed, screaming that Atlas wasn't a comet at all, but a giant mothership heading straight for us. The clip went viral fast. Then people remembered Baba Vanga had predicted extraterrestrial contact in 2026. And things got creepier. Scientists detected strange pulses from 3i Atlas at 1,420 megahertzes.
When 3i Atlas came within 30 million kilometers of Mars, and it was taken by the HiRISE camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter.
The exact frequency SETI used to search for alien signals. Some believed it was a warning. Others thought it was an arrival announcement. With all the chaos already happening on Earth, people didn't see this as coincidence. They saw it as the final piece clicking into place. And suddenly, Are We Alone stopped sounding hypothetical.
Well, you still can get up and leave the store if you don't.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.